Pryoxis, Boxing Fanatico, ready to start up any time that you're ready. It looks like we're going to get the legendary Oscar De La Hoya versus Thomas Hearns. Man, this is going to be a matchup right now. Now, we already saw Thomas Hearns lose a fight earlier, but, you know, now I think this is Boxing Fanatico. Who has Thomas Hearns? You got to be able to use that range. Maybe we'll be able to see some of that range come out there from Thomas Hearns. Now, if you're Oscar De La Hoya, very, very powerful fighter here. You definitely got to get inside of that range of Thomas Hearns to do your damage. What are you seeing early in this fight, Prezi?
Well, we've seen, you said use the range. We've seen him use that range in the first fight. We've seen it, and now, I mean, he should be confident in the case where he's using Thomas Hearns, who's got even more range than his first pick in Robert Duran, I believe. So it's interesting. He's got even more range now. So let's see how he utilizes this. Or is he going to try and show everyone in this tournament, all the viewers, different angles, different tactics, different faces of Boxing Fanatico, and the way he thinks and the way he imposes his IQ and ring generalship in Fight Night Champion. Here we go, round one, nearly halfway through, and both guys just feeling each other out, tit for tat. Look at that, 1-2s, and back out of range there for Pride. But again, so when it comes to a fight like this, boxer, there is it can be very cagey, a lot of chess moves, and a lot of punches being missed. But when they do land that significant bomb in the exchange is when the fight will break out, boxer.
Yeah, exactly. Now, with Oscar De La Hoya, definitely only 5'10". Okay, so he's giving up a lot of height to the 6'1" Thomas Hearns. However,
oh, good two-piece there by Pride. Yeah. Did you see that, boxer? Left hook up top, right uppercut to the body. Lovely stuff there by Pryoxis.
Yeah, Pryoxis already doing a really good job. But we seen Boxing Fanatico. He definitely knows how to be patient, but he's whipping some shots. Also, Pryoxis whipping some shots there. But with Oscar De La Hoya, that left hook, you want to watch out for that. That's a 20 out of 20. He has a left body hook of 18 out of 20. So Oscar De La Hoya, very well versed in his striking there. He definitely can do some damage downstairs and upstairs. Has to be very careful. Now, the thing about Oscar De La Hoya, and this probably is why Boxing Fanatico uses him, endurance and conditioning, both at 100. So he's going to be able to go the distance here in this 10-round fight. But Pryoxis is going to have to use that range and use some of that upstairs power of Hearns and to do his damage, because Hearns does not have a lot of power downstairs. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup, how it shakes out. What did you see there in round one, Prezi? Who do you think won that first round?
It's very close. Again, it could be a draw, depending on what the judges like. If the judges liked something like pressure, maybe ever so slightly, I'd lean towards. It's a tough one because I saw a bit of everything from both guys, but maybe I'd lean towards Boxing Fanatico. But if it came to like the cleaner punches, but again, it's not enough with quantity, maybe very close round, could even be a draw, boxer.
Yeah, exactly. Now, with Thomas Hearns, another big advantage there on the combinations of Oscar De La Hoya is a 20 out of 20. Now, Thomas Hearns is really good also, 18 out of 20. So look at these combinations that's going to come out from Boxing Fanatico. This is a huge fight. Like you said, Prezi, this can be a final all in this bit. And what are you seeing here early?
The jab, just the jab alone, beautiful. Step in range, jab, eat the jab, back out. Pride tried to reach in with a shot, boom, back in with a jab, catches him on his way in and stops him in his trap. That there, you can't. That's the brain. That's a jab. It's not a combination. When you start doing things like that, That's the brain ticking over, and it shows you the thinking with the timing and the precision here from Boxing Fanatico. But again, Pry not panicking, taking his time. No one's really dominating. It's just who's landing the punches, and a nice, swift right uppercut there that I think just grazes the chin there of Boxing Fanatico. Good stuff here by both guys. Pry coming in range there, trying to land the right uppercut on the inside. This time, Doug has to get off the ropes there, circle towards his right. At the same time, staying away from the power punch of Eddie Hearn, I beg your pardon. Thomas Hearns here. Just got to circle to his right rather than the left. Keep throwing the uppercut. Slow body. Come back up top. But again, if I'm Pry here, I just want to use more of the footwork as well. I want to use that footwork when I'm landing those punches just to get out of range. And then come back in with a counter after I've stepped out. Because maybe Boxing Fanatico will give me that window to land something significant, boxer.
Yeah, definitely. You talked about that jab of both of these fighters. You got that jab of Oscar De La Hoya, 18, only a 17 for Thomas Hearns, but they're tit for tat there. But as they go in and out and they try to find that distance, as we've seen, as this fight wings on in the distance, that's who's end up going to win the fight, whoever can control that distance. And right now, we see a lot of whiffs there coming out from Pry, and then Boxing Fanatico going downstairs with Oscar De La Hoya. And we already said his body shots right and left hooks at 10 and 18, so he can do some damage downstairs. You got to watch out for those low shots that is being evaded there. Whenever Boxing Fanatico evade those high shots from Thomas Hearns. Now, we've seen Boxing Fanatico just use that IQ and fight off of his back foot. We've also seen Pryoxis in the first round be very, very aggressive and walk down his fighter. So you're seeing some of the best styles here, and it looks like Boxing Fanatico is really getting comfortable here. I like the movement that he's doing. Like we said, but Oscar De La Hoya has a 20 out of 20 when it comes down to combinations, and these guys are doing a good job. Huge right hand there landed that I'm seeing right there from Boxing Fanatico. Pryoxis has to be careful, but he's doing a good job at keeping this fight on the outside right now, Press.
Huge right hand and great footwork by Fanatico. It's literally the baby steps. He's not on his bike. He's not circling the ring. He's just in and out of range. And when he steps back out of range, he's back in the middle of the ring where he wants to be. That is ring generalship. That is high-level boxing. That is IQ. And that is the way to use Eddie Hearn. Everything just off the tip of the glove, you know. Throw things from range, land the tip of the glove, hoping that maybe Pry will get a bit frustrated and try to come on the inside, and that's when he can start mixing up those pullback counters, sidestep uppercuts, and step straight rights by Boxing Fanatico. Again, no one really been hurt here. No one's been dropped. But De La Hoya, Pry. It looks like Pry is winning the rounds. And I just see it?
No. Boxing Fanatico is using Oscar De La Hoya.
10-8 round one.
Boxing Fanatico is using Oscar De La Hoya.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so right now, man, Boxing Fanatico seems like he's right there in charge in this fight. Now, one thing I like that Boxing Fanatico is doing to close that distance of Hearns, when he's outside of striking distance, you'll see him lunge in with these strikes, and that's going to be a fast strike to get inside of the range for Oscar De La Hoya, and that's some very high-level IQ stuff. And when he's on the outside of Thomas Hearns' range, he's able to move that head. His head movement is really good from Oscar De La Hoya. We're looking at 17, 18. And so that's what I see with that movement. A lot of boxing is not just what you throw with your hands, but it's how you move. And right now, I'm seeing Boxing Fanatico is a master of movement inside of that ring. Like you said, Pressy just has that ring generalship. And he's able to control that distance and move in and out and land these one shots. He's not just throwing shots, but at some point, these guys are going to let the hands go. But if you're Pryoxis and you had that reach, what do you have to do to catch this fast fighter in Oscar De La Hoya? Because it's not easy.
I would try to. It's easier said than done, but I'll try and time that stiff jab. So what that does, right hand, shakes Pride to his boots. Can Fanatico get the knockdown on him? He's really pouring in those hooks. Left hook up top, right hook to the body, left hook up top, trying to mix up with the right hook. 5 seconds left in the round, takes his foot off the pedal, and I think it's time to reevaluate the game plan for Pryoxis here, because what he's trying to do is getting countered and nullified here by boxing Fanatico. Really must be oozing with confidence, winning all the rounds on all judges' scorecards here, Fanatico.
Wow. Man, this is something that's going to be that I'm going to have to watch and really digest after the fight, because boxing Fanatico, for whatever reason, he's able to win a lot of these rounds on the back foot. And what I like, what he's doing now, it seems like he's comfortable now. He's really showing us a lot of this movement. I'm seeing like his step backs, and then he jumps in, and then he lunges, and then he sidesteps. He's not stagnant in there, just moving backwards and forwards. And that's maybe something that we see in a lot of the UFC fighters, where we can get in that type of rhythm of just moving backwards and forwards. But it's a lot of lateral movement here going on. But look at this split. He used right hand there. He knocks down. Oh my God. Wow, Pressy. What did you see there out of nowhere?
Wow. An upset. This is what I'm seeing. An upset on the wall here, boxer. And you know what led to that? Pryoxis. Now, if you have a look, the gas tank of boxing Fanatico, that's not because of his output. That is because Pride is making him miss. And he got caught in the exchange and was made to pay the price by getting knocked down there, boxer.
Yeah, now, when I was playing the game, training, getting ready for this commentary, one thing that I noticed, when you do a lot of that movement, with that extra movement and stuff, that does also play some dividends on your stamina. So you got to be careful. And we saw boxing Fanatico doing a lot of movement, and it looked good. Now, with that knockdown, I really still think the fight is even right now, right? Because if you come out of this round, you might have a 10-8 round, but you may still be down on the judges' scorecards. But you're in the middle of the fight. Like, you couldn't ask for nothing better than this. Right here, Pressy, you had a fight that's being dominated by boxing Fanatico all the way up until the middle of the fight, and then it gets turned around by Pryoxis with a knockdown, Pressy. What are we going to see here in the second half of this fight? Your guess is as good as mine, buddy.
Fanatico 1 point down, 1 point behind.
Wow. Man, so all right, coming here in the round 6, I think if you're Pryoxis, you keep doing what you're doing. You're staying on the outside. You're wearing down on that stamina of Oscar De La Hoya. Even though his endurance and conditioning is 100, you're still able to chip away at it. Look at that stamina by Oscar De La Hoya. It's not the best right now. And look at Pryoxis.
And you know what? Pryoxis really adjusted himself. He's changed it up. He's made a few adjustments here. Nothing too big. Just the timing and when he's stepping in and out. And look how effective it's been. He's been able to drop his opponent. He's really zapping the energy out of boxing Fanatico. And this looks like a fight that could be turned on its head and upside down here if Pryoxis can seriously keep this up, because he is on the road to causing an upset here tonight, boxer.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Pryoxis just showing you. He said he told us on Twitter he was going to get in the lab. And boy, did he get in the lab. But look at this movement. This movement by boxing Fanatico is good. Now, boxing Fanatico, I think he still needs to do what he's been doing, because you never know. Out of nowhere, he could get a knockdown. But right now, look at that range. What I'm seeing right now, these big fighters with that range, if you can effectively stay on that outside, land your shots, you know, let the little guys do all of that movement, look flashy and stuff right there, you can be effective. Because with that right hand, we already know with Thomas Hearn upstairs, you be looking at a 20 out of 20. You can't get hit with that thing, man. I mean, like, this is some good stuff out of Pryoxis. Not sure who won that round. I might have to give round 6 also to Pryoxis pressing.
Absolutely agree with that one. 100% there. That's a Pryoxis round for me, but look at his face. He is cut on both sides. Wow. It's round 7. I mean, it's not good news here. It's not good news here. It looks like the cut's really bad. It looks like the referee's going to be keeping a very, very close eye on that cut. And if this fight does get stopped due to a cut in a fight that it looks like Pride really turning this fight on his head, it will be a very, very big shame here. Let's hope Pryoxis can keep the head movement flowing, keep the lever off of his face until the next round, and see if that cut man and cornerman can go to work on that cut.
Yeah, now, one thing that we got to look out for, especially as it gets into the later rounds, Thomas Hearns does not have the best chin. He only has a 14 chin. So with that power of Oscar De La Hoya, if he can put these combinations together, which Oscar De La Hoya has a 20 in combinations, he can put something together and turn it right back. It's still anybody's fight by no stretch of the imagination. But Thomas Hearns, if he gets knocked down, he is getting off the canvas because he has a toughness of 100 out of 100. So, I mean, the story in this fight right now, Pryoxis getting a knockdown. He's up slightly on the judges' scorecards, but this is coming down the stretch here, and Boxing Fanatico is a very, very experienced fighter, and he knows how to move with all of this speed here of Oscar De La Hoya, and he's doing a good job making him whiff. But what I'm saying is he needs to get some counter punches in there, Press. He needs to land some strong punches here to change the tides. If you're Boxing Fanatico, how can you get in there and land some of these power punches that you hadn't been able to land since early in the fight?
Well, I'm going to have to try and get that respect out of Pryor, and how I would do that with the way Pryor's fighting here, I'll try to switch up. Probably not the best punch to throw, but it will work under this condition here. So when Pryor's coming forward and trying to mix up, trying to lead with that hook, I'm gonna step. So I'm going to step back out of range and fire and absolutely ram that right backhand to the solar plexus and try and cause some damage there. So I'll be stepping out of range of the punch, ducking underneath any other punches that come from that lead hook, land a straight right down the pipe, back out of range. With that being said, he has got to force the punch. He's got to force the right punches out of Pryoxis here. And honestly, I think Pryoxis is doing, he's doing very well with switching things up since round maybe 4 or 5. This is down to Boxing Fanatico. I mean, he's not doing anything erratic. He has been looking for a left hook up top and a right uppercut to the body for a few rounds now. Hasn't found any success with it, but he has with that right uppercut, which we just saw whiff there. But in it's over! Right hand! Pryoxis! What's going on? For the second time in this fight, can he get up? It looks like he will. The referee is going to take a good look at him. The referee waves it on to continue. Wow. He has been dropped twice in this fight. Maybe an 80-1 favorite to beat Pryoxis here tonight. And Pryoxis is really upsetting the bookies here tonight, Boxer.
All right, Pressy, from looking at those scorecards, if I saw it correctly, it flashed up there fast. They had Boxing Fanatico up. They had one round going to Pryoxis. Of course, he's going to win this round. To me, right now, what I'm saying, Boxing Fanatico just needs to be able to survive right now. Continue doing what he's doing, survive these last 2 rounds, and I think he'll eke it out on the judges' scorecards. But if you're Pryoxis, man, how impressive are you looking right now? 2 knockdowns on Boxing Fanatico.
I'm more than impressed. Impressive. Did I ever see this boxer? Absolutely not. I would never fully write off Pryoxis, but when it comes to experience, you've got to go with what's on paper. If someone has years of experience over you in something, and that they're at the highest level of it, how do you not get them on the, how do you not make them such a heavy favorite? But Pryoxis has taken the script here and put it in the bin tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm really seeing a lot of aggression from the UFC fighters here, and we see it with these knockdowns and how they go after. Yeah, but with the boxing in the round format, you got to be able to put this stuff together over the course of a 10-round fight, and that's what I'm seeing. Even though Boxing Fanatico is getting knocked down, going into round 9 and 10, he may still win this fight, especially if it goes to the judge's scorecard. The thing is, this is literally one of the fights of the night right now. 2 knockdowns, but however, Boxing Fanatico is still up, even though he's tasted the canvas twice. Now, here's the thing. Can Pryoxis string it together again? Because if you get knocked down a 3rd time, you get knocked down a 4th time, no matter what's on the judge's scorecards, you might not be able to get up pressing. So Pryoxis and Boxing Fanatico want to keep doing what they both have been doing. It just comes down to whose game plan is going to end up beating the other game plan, Pressy. I have no idea who's going to win these next 2 rounds.
I think so far, Prize actually, he's reading Boxing Fanatico like a book. Look, you see there, it happens as I'm about to say it. He's reading those right uppercuts. He knows he's fishing for the right uppercuts. So once he cops it back, it's time to step back out of range or sidestep to the side and bring one of my own uppercuts in, or straight right down the pipe on the inside by Pryoxis. Look again there, uppercut whiffed. I come back with my own. I mean, I really, trying to digest this, and if you was to tell me this was going to happen right now, I wouldn't have believed you. It's
boy,
crazy
this gonna be some good content, man. But boy, we getting ready to go into round 10, Pressy. Boxing Fanatico and Pryoxis, a huge matchup. Both of these guys really came to fight. I mean, this you throw all the content creation out aside. This is why these guys are so great. It's not just about making videos. These guys can actually play. These guys are 2 gamers.
Oh.
And right now, 2 huge right uppercuts there landed by Pryoxis. Round 10, Pressy. Can Pryoxis get it done? You never know. Oscar De La Hoya may not be able to survive and get off the canvas if he gets knocked down again. But if you go to the scorecard, it might go to Boxing Fanatico, Pressy. You couldn't have scripted it any better. He's taking these uppercuts. Boxing Fanatico can't take these too much more. But Pressy, what are you seeing here in this 10th and final round? Crazy.
I'm seeing a Boxing Fanatico that is about to lose this fight unless he really fights out of his skin here, boxer. I mean, credit to this guy. You don't actually see, in my opinion, he's got a very game poker face. He doesn't show the pressure. He doesn't, he really doesn't show the panic. You're not gonna win this fight. And as I say that, Pray his rocks to his boots. Can Fanatico find the knockdown, or will Pryoxis hold on to survival? Coast the points victory. The referee looked like he was ready.
Fanatico going for it. Fanatico smelling that blood, Pressy, but I think he needs to be careful.
But no, he's trying to get that steak.
Yeah, these guys are going for it.
It's not ready to be cooked yet, boxer.
Both of these guys are smelling blood in the water. You can't get no better than this, Pressy. I mean, these guys are going for it.
Wow. Wow.
All right, coming down to the last 30 seconds. What do you got to do to stay in this fight? I mean, both of these guys been rocked. We already got Boxing Fanatico. He wants to get Pryoxis on the canvas at least once here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it in the last 10 seconds. What a fight they put on, Pressy. You couldn't ask for nothing better. Boxing Fanatico just want to back this one out. And wow, Pressy, what are the judges going to give? Who are they going to give it to, Pressy?
Saying a Pryoxis without a doubt, and never in a million
I'm
years
going
would I have seen this coming. Let's see what the officials, judges.
Fanatico, maybe. Look at there. There it was. Wow, man, just not enough. But I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, 2 knockdowns there for Pryoxis in 2 of the rounds, and those are the rounds he won. But all of the other rounds that he didn't get the knockdown, that he didn't win. So it shows you that Hearns has that power to get it done, but in this scoring system of boxing, you got to be able to tally this stuff up round after round after round. Amazing job by both of those fighters. Fight of the night so far for me, Pressy. Wow, that's crazy. Man,
So I'm just trying to gather myself. I don't know what I don't know what fight the judges were watching, boxer.
All right, so Press, explain to us what you see in that fight. You had it going. You had it going strongly Pryoxis way.
I did give it to Pryoxis. I think I gave maybe 4 rounds. I gave 4 rounds to boxing Fanatico, made 4 to 5 rounds, and you got the 2 knockdowns for Pryoxis on top. Very strange there. Very strange. Maybe the judges saw something or liked something that I didn't notice there. But again, soft to boxing Fanatico. Maybe in his heart, because like I told you at the end of that round, you remember when I said he doesn't panic? He isn't panicking. He isn't going crazy. He's staying composed.